right, we back again. It is the Rewind Podcast. Appreciate everybody checking out last week's episode. We did a classic, Me Against the World from Tupac. You know, Tupac's one of the most controversial figures in hip-hop history. Matter of fact, music history, man. So a lot of different opinions about that album. Definitely check it out wherever you get all your podcast at. And also, you can watch the videos on YouTube. But back again, got my brother DJ Killa Kev. What's good?
What's up, sir? I appreciate y'all coming dressing y'all all black for this occasion. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate this is the right time to be having on all black, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can definitely check Killa out. He was on T.I. Trap Music Pod, man. Killa, shout out your DJ services, please.
Yeah, man, the website djkmusicent.com. You can get all your requests in. 2021 is getting a little sloppy, so get your date requested, and then all my social media is DJ_Killa_Kev. So
appreciate you, bro. One of the hottest in the game. And of course, I got my brother Mike Wilson, Cincinnati, now in Houston, Texas. Shout out the candle business for Young Hart, please.
Yes, sir. My son, 10-year-old Hart Wilson, started a candle business in order to make enough money over the next 7 years to pay his tuition to Howard. You can pick those up at Candles from the Heart, HART, candlesfromtheheart.com. Go out and support.
Nice. For sure. Now we got all that good mushy stuff out the way. Let's get into some good trap.
Hey.
So, man, the album we doing this week is Jeezy's Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. Came out July 26, 2005. Something that I like to do on the pod, man, kind of take us back to 2005, remind people of some of the albums that came out in 05. The Game documentary, his first joint. 50, The Massacre, his second joint. Beanie Siegel, Becoming. Mike Jones, who was Mike Jones, came out in 05. Memphis Bleak, 534 came out. Common, B. Sean Price, Monkey Bars. Yin Yang Twins, United States of Atlanta with the Whisper Song. Missy Elliott with Cookbook. Ye second project with Late Registration. David Banner, Certified. Little Kim, Naked Truth. Bun B, Trill. Joel Santana, What the Game's Been Missing. And of course, Lil Wayne, The Carter 2 came out in 05, man.
How many of those did you get off LimeWire?
Many a computer was ruined. You know, and to be perfectly honest, I was already working at the radio station at this time, so I was getting all them CDs. I was getting a clean copy and a dirty copy, so I wasn't messing up my computer like that, you know, like a lot of other people.
Oh, I messed up the now wife's computer. I messed up my mom's computer. I messed up my own computer. I tore up some computers with that thing.
Yeah, man. So, Mike, what was going on in your world in 05?
Ooh, 05. You know where I was living, Tampa. But I was actually about to move home to Cincinnati. My mother got ill. God rest her soul. Matter of fact, today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, Deion Sanders. Happy birthday, Whitney Houston.
Hey.
So I was living with my boy Ben from Chicago. We were living in an apartment on Waters Avenue in Tampa. About to move home a little bit right before, like 2 months, 2 months to the day, right before Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. So I was still wilding. But really sad because I was like, damn, I got to move home back to Ohio from Tampa. But that's where I was, just wilding, acting a fool, club joining it, Blue Martinian.
Blue Martini. Oh, many yeah.
Go ahead.
you go ahead and tell them. Go ahead
I'm done.
I'm done. You can tell them about the experience at the Blue Martini. It's all
you can always
good,
tell
man.
when two friends got a story when the brakes hit. Like, go ahead. Take over.
No, people married with families and all that, so I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax.
Oh, man. Yeah, let's keep it pushing. Killa, what was going on in your world in 05?
So for me in 05, I had just got out of the military January of 05. And I committed to a life of no physical activity, hard drinking, and pizzas, probably 3 to 4 days a week. and that was the year where I started the process of putting on them 100 pounds that I took off in 2018. So that was that time and space where I was, forced to work out in the military, and I got home, and I was at that time I was still chasing some sporting dreams, and I had a buddy went to high school with. He was on Sinclair's tennis team. I hadn't played tennis in like 2.5, 3 years. Showed up to a tryout, made the squad. So I was literally enrolled into Sinclair. I was getting my GI Bill, but the tennis was taking care of all the tuition and books. So my GI Bill was my paycheck to go to school. So I had a paycheck to go kick it every weekend, and it got ugly. I'm talking, I ruined many of shirts falling on the floor, and just that time I was hurt more times than not. I would be drunk. So that was a hard year for your boy, but a lot of partying.
Yeah, man. I think we're all on the same wave, man. A lot of partying was going on in '05. I was already working at the radio station, and I was going to the club basically 3-4 nights a week, not only to work, but also party. We were doing remote broadcasts from different clubs all across the city, and that's just what it was. Like, if it was at the Oregon District one night, we was at MJ's the next night, we was at a different club on Salem Ave the next night. It was just a nonstop party, and especially in that time and space, in my mind, man, I'm really getting paid to go to the club. I'm winning. Not knowing I'm really just spending all the money that I'm earning to be working at the bar and put myself further in the hole, man. So it was a lot of dumb decisions, just crazy, wild stories that we don't need to get into.
that Sunday morning, I only got $50 off that gig.
Man.
Yeah.
That's them weekends.
Big facts. And a couple other spots that I got to shout out that I was kicking at. The Foundry on Sunday nights. Where else was we at heavy? We was that's where when like you was talking about with First Fridays too. So a lot of spots in town was just come as you are, but First Fridays was kind of like kind of dress it up a little bit. So that was going hard. So just
I think Frogs had his end of his run, and MJ's had a run during that time. So that was man, woo, lot of red. I used to judge them nights on how fucked up I wanted to get with Smirnoff's red, blue, and silver top. So, but depending on the week, I might be going for the blue top, or I might be going for the silver top, or it was them nights.
Yeah. So Mike, you always got your ear to the ground, man. You hear about music before I do. How'd you find out about this dude named Young Jeezy?
So, my boy that I was living with, Ben, he came to the crib one day. He would always go. We had these flea markets in Tampa, and like the African brothers would have like all these bootleg mixtapes. They would have everything, and so Ben had struck up a relationship with one of the dudes, and he was like, "Hey, whenever you get something new, hit me up." So Ben. He hits up Ben. He's like, "Yeah, I got a bunch for you." So he goes. Ben comes home with like 30 CDs, and he and I would sit there in the living room, and he would throw them in the computer because we had crazy computer, super loud, banging. He would throw it in. We'd just listen, and if we didn't like it, of course, next. So, Boys in the Hood was on there. The group that Jeezy started with Jody Breeze. The Diddy had, what was it, Bad Boy South?
Yeah, Bad Boy South.
Yeah. And Jeezy raps first, and Jeezy comes on, and you hear that voice, and it's like, oh shit. And it was like, the thing that actually caught me about Jeezy, I think that I loved, was actually on that song, if you hear the beat, it sounds like a chopper going off. It's like when he's rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeezy was riding it, and I'm riding the beat, and I'm like, Paul, Jeezy's riding the beat, and I'm like, damn. And so, the other dudes rap, and I actually like Jody Breeze too.
Yeah.
The other cats, I was like, y'all could have left him at the crib. So I wanted to know who was the chubby face dude with the dark glasses on. I'm like, who is that? After I saw the video, actually. But after I heard the song, I was like, damn. And so probably about a few weeks after that, my boy Ben, he's like, hey, you know the dude that raps first on the Boys in the Hood? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, he got an album coming out. I'm like, all right. And then my boy Ben brought it home. And it was over from there.
Yeah.
It was over.
I'm glad
J.
you brought up
Wayne Jenkins is his name. Call his government name. J. Wayne Jenkins. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that era of time, man. That was the bootlegging era. That was the era of getting leaked CDs and going to the mom and pop spots to get them early. And, you know, us loving music, you always want to be that guy that brings somebody to the table. Like, yeah, I found this guy first. He's mine. You get bragging rights when you bring somebody hot to the table. Killa, how about you? How'd you find out about Jeezy?
So yeah, that was you led right into where I was going. I was huge into like those mixtapes, the Hitmans and the Gangsta Grills, just all them DJ dramas and all them mixtapes. So that's how I consumed music, was let me get 30 of the hottest songs on a CD that I can just ride around up and down the burg for no reason with, and be hanging out with my friends, listening to it over and over and over. So I feel like I caught an early glimpse of him on there, but I really will give his credit to Thug Motivation. Was my introduction to him, because at that time I had a friend that was he was a senior or junior maybe at Miami of Ohio. So being when I had the money from the school and playing tennis, and I didn't start working at the post office until that fall. So that whole spring and summer was literally just driving to Miami on Friday. My homeboy, he had a brand new child, so I had a bed that freed up, because on Friday he would go back home to the crib on the weekend to see his kid, and he would always tag me out with the "fuck you, wash my sheets." That was always his statement. As I come in with liquor and snacks, and he leaving with, you know, I gotta go see my kid for the weekend. So that was all them years or that time for me. And Thug Motivation, that summer hit just came out, and I'll give credit to Smoke too, because me and Smoke used to do a lot of riding around listening to new music, and Smoke was always like big brother, and always, man, you heard this, you heard this, and we put that Thug Motivation in, and I mean, that thing is solid through and through. It was one of them albums where I knew first listen that this is gonna be a part of my life for a minute.
Yeah, man, 15 years ago, man. But for me, wasn't feeling him at all.
What?
At all. First time I heard Jeezy was on Gucci Man, So Icy. I still don't even like that song, but the wife loved that song. She knows the words front to back. Everybody's verse. She loved that song, and I remember when she would go kick it with her homegirls in Cincinnati. I know she had been out because she'll be singing it for a week. And I'm like, this is trash. This is just not it, man. And like, I knew he's from Atlanta. I was like, because at this time, T.I. is running the game. And not only is T.I. trap music or whatever, the same wave that Jeezy is on, but he's a lyricist too. So, you know me, Mike, I'm like big into lyricism and all that type of stuff. So the only stuff I heard from Jeezy was So Icy. So off the rip, not feeling it. Fast forward to the Boys in the Hood movement. I was a Jody Breeze dude. I was like, he's better than all these dudes. These dudes is whack. Like, I'm just not feeling it. But then, like I said, working at the clubs 4 and 5 nights a week, this was the soundtrack that entire summer, and not just singles. You could play this CD from beginning to end at a club. I was gonna say this later on in the pod, but Killa, like, I think this is part of the reason why club owners, promoters really disrespect DJs, because I remember going to a certain club in town where he just played this CD and it rocked. It rocked as if you was in there. It rocked as if OPZ was in there, because it was banger after banger after banger. And all while I'm listening to it, I'm not catching that I'm really fucking with it. Like, it's not late, probably until like December, until I actually gave it a full listen on my own outside of the club. So me hearing it in the club, getting that vibe from the people, made me give it a shot. And then when I did give it a shot, I was like, oh, I missed out, because this shit is banging.
Yeah. It's the Raps Confessions album. Like it's loved for life.
Yeah,
Like this,
yeah.
you
And
can't
Kev, to your
yeah.
point about DJs playing it all the way through, I was at a club in Tampa right before I moved home. It's called Club XS. They used to have a thing called Chunky Sundays at Club XS. I went in Club XS probably a week before I moved home. Dude, dude went in there and it was like he just hit play and walked out the DJ booth. And he played the entire album straight through. And I was like, damn, I feel like I'm at the crib because that's what I was doing at the crib with it.
Yeah.
I'm playing it straight through. So
Yeah.
to your point, that's exactly what dudes was doing down there too in Tampa.
I remember like the DJ booths back in the day, even a little bit today, but every booth back in the day, it had like the CD joint where if the DJ wasn't there and they was playing just music on some early shit or just on a slow night, they could put their CDs in and rock their music. I can remember a CD books being there with just certain CDs in there that they would just play, and this being one of them where you would walk in and this thing would just be playing. And I would set up sometimes and let 45 minutes go. Let the rest of the album clear out while I'm setting up and having some drinks because it's good music. Like let's let it go. So.
Yeah, man. Re-listening to this, man, I knew it was gonna be easy because I still listen to it to this day. So this is easy music to listen to. So it was super easy this past week. So let's jump into a couple tracks that we really feeling on here, man. We can just go ahead and do a track by track breakdown, man. Track 1, Thug Motivation 101, Shorty Red. The Money Machine sound effect. The hook. And this is a perfect way to intro Jeezy.
Yes.
Masses.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
That was the exact thing I was gonna say, kid. It was like we all know those songs that have the greatest intros. Like we know the what's the pop? Is that all Eyes on Me? Yeah, with Ambitious as a Ride on that album, the double album. Perfect intro. 50 Cent on his joint. Perfect intro. This was one of those songs when I was like, dude, this is the perfect. I mean, from the beat to the opening line.
I used to hit the kitchen light.
Everywhere. It was like, oh shit.
Floors everywhere.
And this, and honestly, I've never been a big T.I. guy, like ever. T.I. has never really been.
Shame on you.
You talking to the biggest T.I. fan on the planet.
I'm about to mute the camera on that one. I'm out of here.
I know. I'm sorry, kid. Like, and I listened to the pod about T.I. and I was never a big T.I. guy. I didn't hate him, but I never was a big T.I. guy. Yeah. So to hear Jeezy, it was like, okay, I'm getting that trap down south Atlanta gritty rhyme like that I love. This real street, real vivid. Like I said, based off that opening line, where T.I. was cool, but it didn't have that grit, that grime, that hey, I'm about to give it to you. So when he hit that opening line, I'm like, oh shit. I was like, here we go. So that perfect song. And Shorty Red, as a producer on this album, loved him. Loved him. Loved him. So yeah, that first one, oh my God. It was so gritty. It was what I thought T.I. was gonna give me, but didn't quite deliver like that. So that was my feeling when I heard that first joint.
Yeah. What's up, Killa?
Man, for me, it's really easy to say for me in one line because I can say this about most of the songs, but I feel like Jeezy introduced himself in a way that he made trap music not like everybody wanted to make it, this filthy, disgusting, just hardcore, and he made it to where it's like, I ain't doing nothing but telling you the truth. I'm telling you what it's like to be, raised in these atmospheres and these projects and these streets, and and he wasn't. There was no lies being told, so you couldn't say nothing other than this some real shit, And it was so many tracks that gave you that feeling. Like there's songs that literally to this day, I actually wrote down hand notes for this shit because I was that excited.
Me too,
like,
Kev. Me too.
I'm sitting here looking at my handwriting, just looking like, man, I really wrote down hand notes because there's so many songs that like I'll get 19 tracks for one. You know, we didn't even talk about, you know, that's a lot of music to be putting out. But at that time, you know, watching the No Limit shit, you know, they did 23 albums in a year. So just the people was giving you so much. They was giving you everything. And this album was just, man, I can ramble on for hours.
Then we got track 2, Standing Ovation. For me, it just sounds epic. It sounds important. It sounds like something that you should be listening to, that you need to be listening to. And the theme is the grind. The theme is the grind. And something I was going to say later on, but I'll just go ahead and say it, man. I never understood why people that love lyricists like a Method Man or Redman couldn't connect to a person with passion and feeling like a Tupac. So people that don't fuck with Jeezy or especially fuck with this album, I view them like they don't have passion for whatever they doing. Yeah, he's talking about the street shit, but you should have a passion for whatever you doing. And he's spitting that passion and where he's from and what he went through all 19 songs on this track. And that's the theme. And you know exactly what you getting from a Jeezy song, especially on this album. The title speaks for itself. The lyrics are going to speak for itself. And the hook is going to remind you if you forgot. And that's exactly what this is. Standing Ovation.
About 8 tracks tell you that the distribution center is at Auntie house. The distribution center is at Auntie house a couple times through this album.
Oh, without a doubt. And to me, Standing Ovation seemed like a second intro. Like it almost gives you an intro feel again. But I mean, like Drummer Boy, which I'm a Drummer Boy fan. Drummer Boy did the production, and I was fucking with it. I was like, like it took me from, you know, Thug Motivation, boom, I'm already hooked anyway. It's Jeezy. Standing Ovation is like, okay, here's another intro. Now I'm about to go in, just based off the beat, and I'm like, shit. I was like, man, this dude got something. And to your point, Kev, about I know a dude, and I ain't gonna call him because I know he's gonna watch the pod, but he was not a Jeezy fan at all. But I knew why. He would always say it. Man, down south cats don't be rapping about nothing. And I'm like, are you serious? So he wasn't a down south fan. Now you can't tell him Jeezy ain't the GOAT because he'll tell you all the time, man, Jeezy cold. But I think a lot of cats couldn't feel it because maybe it was too real. Maybe it just focused so much on the grind and hustling and all that. But dude, he was one of those guys from down south that I was like, hey, he got lyrics. He has bars. He has bars.
For sure. Gangsta Music, another Shorty Red track. Where was you at with it, Mike?
Man, loved it. I mean, again, grimy, gritty, just I'm giving it to you real and authentic. You know, it didn't come with no fluff. It didn't come with no Lowry seasoned salt on it. It was straight, just boom. Here it is.
Had that little gunshot at the beginning.
Yes.
Gangsta music. Like, here we go.
Man. Again, Shawty Red was a star on this album, dude. He was a star on this album.
Yeah.
And the songs that kind of on this album that were for me were the ones that he wasn't producing. So he was, I mean,
many of them.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you.
What's up, Kev?
Gangsta music, that's what you're expecting this album to be about when it's called Thug Motivation, just that gangster vibe. So that's one of my favorite tracks, just because it finally kind of like what you said. I got like intro 1A and intro 1B, and now we about to get into some gangster music. So it's like that was just the perfect, like this. You can tell that he probably had 40 songs, not 19.
Right.
And really gave you like the slappers to get this introduction into the world, because I mean, we only 3 songs in and we 3 for 3. You know what I'm saying? So
Make
That
it
don't happen. That don't
4-4.
happen in most albums, right? Because yeah, let's get it. Sky's the limit is next, right?
Woo.
So
Like, this is what I'm talking about, how this album made DJing look so easy, especially throughout this whole album. Every hook is on point. Every hook is on point, especially on this song right here, Let's Get It, because you listen to the hook, it has a call and response built into the hook. So it's doing like kind of a DJ's job for them, keeping the crowd energized, keeping people engaged throughout the whole night. So like when I look at this song and I listen back to it, man, it's like I think about y'all DJs, man. I'm like, yo, this is why y'all got disrespected, because of this album right here, because it is working. It is working. It is doing its job. Where was y'all at with it?
I think Jeezy knew just that, because I spent this week getting ready for this. I found a documentary on YouTube. He did like a Thug Motivation documentary. It's like a little 20-minute thing. But in the clip in that, he took the DJs out to Magic City to have a time of their life, like on a night to where he probably know that these DJs is getting slapped in the face because they playing my stuff everywhere. He said he was talking to like a listening party, and he like, I'm gonna go perform tomorrow. These two mixtapes, and I'm gonna have a whole crowd doing my ad libs. Like everybody gonna know every word. And when you see the clip for the next day, I mean, that how does one start out with the trying to give Bossy Georgia Diego
There
money?
go
I mean,
money.
like everybody just like every song on this album, man, give me that feeling of like, this is what I want to listen to at 8:30 to 10:30 while I'm getting ready to go out. And that's what I did 3 to 4 days a week, for a whole summer, for sure.
Yeah, that song, that Let's Get It, Sky's the Limit, for me, what I thought I was getting listening to the album to that point, I got, the hustle, the street, the trap. When I got to this song, I remember there's a portion he samples. What's my man name? Hold on, let me look at my note. Midnight Black did the production on this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a portion in the beat, like if you love the movie Scarface like I do, there's a portion of the beat that has a brief like sample from the Scarface movie, the portion where he's standing on the balcony and he's reading the blimp.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hear the dun, 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 like the little, and for him to put that in there and then add that, little piece in the hook, the world is your, like,
and everything in it.
And it fits so perfect. And I'm like, there's more substance to this than just trap, just, surface level trap music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's some thought going into this shit. And I'm like,
yeah,
I can really dig this shit now. Like it really pulled me in there. And I'm like, the fact that all the way down to he's matching the sample with the hook. Now, I don't know if he created the hook, whoever created the hook, I'm going to give it to J. Wayne Jenkins. I'm going to give it to Jeezy. I need his name on the credit. So, but just to see that he was paying attention to that, because if you think about most like trap shit, it's going to give you surface level music, not a whole lot of depth and thought, really.
Mm-hmm.
For him to do that, I was like, this dude, he's putting out good music. It ain't just, I'm going to give you this street shit and there you go, digest. Nah, I'm giving everything some thought. So that song, man, that's one of my favorite Jeezy songs ever anyway. So that's where I am with that.
Yeah, so then we go into, then what? With Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh made the beats, the first single. What a way to come on. What a way to introduce him to everybody, to have one of the hottest producers in the game at that time, Manny Fresh, coming on it. Killa, I can only imagine how you was at the club, because this was back in your performance day.
This was dancing Killa.
This is before DJ Killa Cam. This is dancing Cam.
This is K Stan. This is K Stan. This is Kevin, straight Kevin. I party so hard at these times. I mean, like for me, that was like that song. Like I'm a huge fan of Manny Fresh and Cash Money and just that whole everything. But Manny Fresh signed him off with that, like that's just that sign off on like, here we go, it's about to get crazy. That song, I can remember nights where there's actually a video out there on VHS, thank God, not on social media. But there's a video out there of us on some pregame, hanging out. Somebody, it was a big weekend because we had Bakari Lamone instead of something else. It
Ooh.
was a big weekend when you get the Bakari Lamone out. So somebody spent a hot 20 on that. So that was a big commitment for the weekend. So there's a video out there of me. We got that there playing, and during that, I'm just chugging the bottle, and I get done with like a good chunk of the bottle, and then what? And I'm in my feelings. Everything. And I told my dude about that, and he was like, "Man, you gotta come over and watch this video because he's a real organized dude. He got everything on tape, and he like sits at home with his wife, or like when he's home alone, and he'll watch old tapes of the good old days instead of actively getting active. He's retired from that life, but
Yeah.
he has all the tapes from all the fun nights, and that's on tape somewhere. Me throwing back a Bakari Lamone to and then what? So,
what's up, Mike?
Man, speak a story not that like that. Man, I remember me and my same dude, Ben, me and him about to go out. And he loved it. That's probably been to this day, that's probably his favorite song. And so at the time he had a Suburban, and speakers everywhere. Like everywhere. Me and him getting ready to go out, playing it in the apartment. So we getting ready. We about to go to a club called Whiskey Park. Get G'd out. We ready. We go get in the truck. Dude, he has this shit so loud. Unbelievably loud. Dude, we sit in the parking lot, like never leave the parking spot where we are. Because we're sitting there. We had pre-gamed in the house. We pre-gaming in the truck. Like we about to be lit before we get there.
Yeah.
Dude, we sit there. We listen to it probably about 4 or 5 times in a row. Finally pull out. We listen to it all the way to the club. Get to the club. Dude, first song we hear when we go in.
Hey.
Dude, we are going bananas when it go on. Dude, it's like just me and him in the club. That's what it feels like. There's a shitload of people there, but we throwing them back. So one of my favorite things that DJs do, if it's a song I love and they run it back again, dude, it's about to go off.
It's like Hulk Hogan, like you get the Incredible Hulk feeling. Like
I'm in there like dude, the DJ runs it back. He's like, nah, fuck that, play it again. And runs it back. Oh, dude. I'm in there going the fool. I'm dude, going. But yeah, that song, the beat, and when he goes to the boom, boom, clap, hey, it's over.
I gotta tell this story just because you brought it up, Mike. I probably a couple of years ago, spending a party, got way too drunk, and I'm in my feelings playing this old music, and I do that. I do exactly what you just did. Like, hold on. I spin it back, drop it again, and like the whole vibe went, huh? Like it did not have the same effect that it had in 05. Cause I'm back there like, and I look up like, y'all not feeling that shit? That was dope. Like it was like a whole different era. Like it just showed like, damn, I'm getting old, because that would have took the roof off the spot back in 05. So.
Man.
I just remind everybody, man, we on the track 6, man. We 6 tracks in, and we feeling it. We got Go Crazy with Jay-Z. Now I will say this. Jay-Z is one of the all-time greats. Definitely check out me and Mike's podcast about Reasonable Doubt. But I will say this. I never liked Jay-Z's verse on Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe remix. I never liked Jay-Z's verse on remix with Juvenile. Mm-hmm. But Jay-Z's verse on this right here, Go Crazy remix,
yeah,
perfect 10.
Dude.
Jay-Z, the home run, the beat. The original Go Crazy was great, but then you added Hove to it. Magic. Where was you at with it, Mike? Because you the Hove guy.
Hey, I love Hove on everything. Dude, you can put Hove on anything. I'm fucking with it. But yeah, this remix because I'm gonna tell you what I was worried about. Like usually when Hove get on something, I'm like, I know he can stay on beat and ride the beat and all that, but I'm like, will he change the vibe of the song? Like I know Jeezy has that grit, grime, street, hustle, trap, that whole feel. And my thing is, okay, Hove was able to get on and not fuck it up. Not change the whole direction of the song. Because we've heard songs where a cat be rapping about something, then somebody else get on, you like, you could have left this nigga off. But Hove, the beat was so perfect though.
Mm-hmm.
The beat was, oh my God. I think Don Cannon did it.
Yep.
Did the beat. And so for Hove, and I'm a Don Cannon guy. So when Hove got on it and just boom, 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 did his thing, I was like, yeah, another hit. Because at this point on the album, I'm like, hey, this cat got a 5 micer here. Like he got a perfect album. And adding Hove, of course, is just gonna elevate it, but it was perfect. It was perfect.
You getting that Jay-Z cosign, especially in this era, really meant something.
Yeah.
Definitely meant something. What's up, Kev?
This song, I got one short story about this song, but this has to be told. So there was this homeboy, his name was Ryan. He was from the South. I think he was from like Alabama or something, but he spent a lot of time in Atlanta prior to coming to college with my boy up in Miami of Ohio. And he was like big on weed, just big on just the party life. He was just that dude in college. And I can remember he was kind of a bigger dude. He used to always pop up and say, "Guess who's Bazak? Still smell the blow on my clothes."
Oh.
And that's how he used to walk into places. So he would walk in like, "Guess who's Bazak?" He would scare everybody because they would be quiet. We'd be chilling, watching, playing the games, whatever. That was his intro all the time. So when I got to this track, I had to just think back, like, man, that dude used to always be high, always have a brown bag with something in it, and he always be shouting out this song. Like that was just his. That just showed you how quickly it grabs people. Like this album became a part of people's lives very quickly. It became an intimate. Like this is mine. This is my shit. This is what I rock out to. This is what's in the car right now. Like it's just. Man.
Yeah, it's
Good
one
stuff.
of them.
Good stuff.
So we on the track 7, Last of a Dying Breed. Got Young Buck on here, Trick Daddy Dollars. This is the first song that I'm not fucking with on the album. I can tell Mike not fucking with it either.
Check. 3 of 3.
The hook is bad. It's something that you don't
get
get
the star
from a
search
Jeezy
2 and 3
album.
stars.
Yeah, I just was never feeling this. And whoever's singing on the hook is garbage.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So all right, then we just keep on pushing there. Track 8.
Look, I'm gonna show y'all too. See my little notes. Last of a Dying Breed ain't got shit by it. It's just Last of a Dying Breed, and it's blank.
But real quick, let me say this.
Yeah.
One reason I hated this song, because like I said on the with the cut with Hove, I'm like, oh, he got a 5 micer now. So I'm like, dude. Then it goes to this. So the reason I really I already didn't like the song, but what made me really not fuck with it. Again, I'm living in Tampa. These people, Kev, these people down here, these people, they love Trick Daddy. Love Trick. Love Trick.
D-double-D.
And dude. So we at a club one night, sports bar across the street from USF campus. It's called Red Zone. You go there on Thursday nights. They got quarter tequila shots and quarter beers.
So
$5. $5. You and your people can get hammered, right?
Yeah.
So we used to go every Thursday. Nobody would ever go to Red Zone any other time. At the time, what's my man name? Plies. Plies is not Plies yet. He's still walking around. He's still going by. At this time, he was going by his real name, Nod. He would go by Nod, N-O-D, because I think his first name is Algernon. So anyway, he's cousins with my frat brother down there named Jimmy. They both from Fort Myers. He's always on campus, whatever. Now, if I do a pod another day down the road, and we talk about some other shit, I got a story about that.
Okay.
Because, hey, Plies was street dude for real. We had a situation. So anyway, they in there. Everybody in there chilling. All they want to talk about is the Jeezy song with Trick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know me. I'm like, man, that shit whack. They like, bro, you tripping. I'm like, huh? So they trying to tell me Trick is top 5 all time, all this shit. I'm like, dude, this dude is shit in the bag. He's terrible. Eggs, nigga, nothing. Dude, to the point, me and this other cat get to argue. We're about to fight over goddamn Trick Daddy, like being whack or being that guy. So, right, he's terrible. I'm like, dude. So yeah, that only added to my hate for the song. Like that song's terrible, dude. To follow up Hove with that, come on, man. The hook was awful.
Man.
It was bad.
Yeah, that's not, come on. That definitely.
But yeah, I'm done. I'm done ranting.
So then
go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Good. Track 8, My Hood. This is how you make a comeback. Man. And you know what? I'm surprised this wasn't a single. This sounds like single material. This sounds like something that should be played on the radio 100 times a week, man. I'm really fucking with this song. And something that, going back to the whole club thing, you know, in that time and space, every club starts out with we gonna do something different. We gonna be grown and sexy. It's gonna be 25 and up. You got to wear slacks to get in here, a button-up shirt to get in here. That's where we gonna start out. And it starts off with good intentions. You know, they do well on those Fridays and Saturdays. But after a while, you know, these people got jobs and kids. They can't come out every weekend. So they start to fall off. Money start to get a little funny. And nothing will ever beat anything in club night history than Rep Your Hood night. When you go to Rep Your Hood night, the niggas come out, they spend big money. You better have your security on point. But this song reminds me of that era where a particular club in town started out with, you know, grown and sexy night. They lasted about a month before they was Rep Your Hood night.
And do you remember the Ken Lo Player University shirts?
Yes, sir.
All the different neighborhoods. Everybody had their neighborhood on, and like, man, you used to like almost like wear your shirt and like put your shoulder out because that's where it said Trotwood at, or that's where it said Five Oaks at, or like, I mean, like you used to like show off your neighborhood and the neighborhood shirts. Like I always said, I was telling the wife, like this was like the one of the first of a series of songs where on the album, Jeezy gave you that one track that just, it was like a staple track, like My President is Black type of feel. Like it just had a weight to it that when you heard that, it had a B.I.B. Little John feel. It had just something about that track made for 2 summers. It was life, you know what I'm saying? Like there's other songs that, you know, grew over the years, but this one I can remember, like you say, them neighborhoods, them Rep Your Hood nights, them even like the little lights, and they used to do like the red, green, and yellow parties, and like people used to, like the little girls used to come, red I'm taking, yellow I'm mingling, you know, all that shit. Like that was that whole time frame.
Yeah, what's up, Mike?
I hated it.
Really?
Hated it.
Back to back, huh?
Hated it.
Oh, and I didn't say before you go, I didn't say that's one of the songs where like now, you know, rap, they just either come straight out the gate, or that had a little intro, like turn my vocals down a little bit. Let me, you know, he had to talk a little bit and get his mind, like that don't happen in rap no more. So that's one of like the last good songs of that, when it's the little eight bar, let me talk my shit before I rap. So
yeah, the thing that made me hate it was the beat. And like you said, Kev, you were surprised it wasn't like a single, because it had a radio, like the beat was a little too happy-go-lucky-ish for me. Like it was too light for me. Like I needed that grind, like what I was getting, what I was expecting. Now, bars and all that, 100. Beat, I was like, oh. And at this point, I'm starting to get discouraged with the album. Like, dude, you blessed me. Like, the beginning. Right. Now I'm like, okay. from this bullshit with Trick. Now this, I'm like, oh, I'm like, come on, Jeezy. Like,
Don't be like that, baby.
don't get me hyped and then just be like. So yeah, I was not a fan of this song, man. I was not. It just didn't give me. I wasn't feeling like I didn't get that feeling.
Okay, so we on the track 9, bottom of the map. Shorty Red is back. Mike.
Yes, sir.
You up? What's good?
Dude, the thing that got me, that pulled me back in. So at the beginning, you know that like that sound that's at the beginning, that dum dum dum. So the thing that got me about that, I remember being a little badass kid in the Fay Apartments in Cincinnati. And so we would be out in the summer, and me and my friends acting like we wanted to rap and all that, just being little kids. And there was this light pole, and it had like this silver thing that came on, and we would beat on it. And it was the exact sound. And I'm like, this nigga done brought me back. He done brought me back. Because it just, I mean, at that point, I was like, oh shit. And when I first heard it, I was like, what does that remind me of? And I would go back, let's do it again. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what it was. When my bad ass was outside beating on shit. And so it got me.
Yup.
Yeah, this how I started
it brought
off
me
the
back
pod with that. Hey, like that.
Yeah.
That used to be like doing like alcohol push-ups for me when that would come on. like that would come on and you'd be like, I had to drink something. I had to. That man.
Yes.
Energy in that is everything.
Club nights,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. So
Just
that
club songs, man. Then we going into track 10. Get your mind right. So this is one of those songs that brings back a lot of memories to me. Yep, that intro. That intro. Mean. So this is, I'm in Cincinnati for the music festival. So
513.
Yes. So our sister station at the time, the Wiz, they had an after party at the Ritz. Mike, you know about the Ritz?
That was a late night.
Yeah, for sure. And people that don't know about the Ritz, you may be thinking Cincinnati Ritz. Yes, that is the same place where T.I. was involved in a shootout a couple of years later. So it's a very, very, very hood spot. But we in there, and the DJ played this. He didn't even have to play it when the beat came on because he dropped it so many times, and everybody was singing the song word for word, not only the hook but the rap part. And I'm the only person in there that don't know this song. I'm the only one. I'm like, what? Like, oh, what it do? What the business is? Word on the street, you know the entity. And when the bitch get your mind right part,
hey,
loud as fuck.
That's shit. that I had to say this. This is totally off subject, but you making me say this. I have a very similar story, but it was to the song "Do the South Side."
Hey,
I walked in the Ritz one day, and the whole club is "Do the South Side."
Yeah.
I'm standing there like, what the fuck? I'm standing there looking like a fool, and everybody looking at me like he ain't from here. I can just tell because everybody was losing their mind. I only been to the Ritz a few times. That's one of my like vivid Ritz memories is walking in and "Do the South Side," and everybody just hitting the dance and going crazy. I'm standing there looking like, yo, I'm out the loop. I don't know nothing.
Out the loop because Cincinnati and Dayton are so close, and by the time this is July, but like we were talking about before, when tapes got leaked, this was leaked, so everybody had it. So all the songs off this album that Dayton was playing, they wasn't playing this one yet. So when I was in Cincinnati and I heard it, I didn't even know who it was, but they were singing that motherfucker word for word.
On that documentary I watched, he talked a little bit about 2 months prior to the release date, one of the producers leaked the album, and he said it was all bad for that producer because Jeezy and them, like, they spent the next few weeks. He said he had like 5 vans, all his niggas, and they was literally raiding, kicking in the doors of the bootleg spots that was selling it and yanking them out and just like getting in these streets and getting their shit back. And like that probably was a 2-month, trying to save as much as you can. But he said that the benefit of that though kind of like opened his eyes to the fact that millions of people, you know, it had already been bootlegged and passed around and it was already spinning, but that led to every show that he did in the region was just through the roof because everybody knew the music. You know what I'm saying? So he got a little taste of what that viral bomb could be like when you know the bootlegging was happening. But of course, that's not at that time. You know, there was so much money being made in music. You know, that was a put your brakes, all hands on deck. We got to get these bootlegs out of here. You know, so
right. Mike, what's good? Where was you at with it?
Man, listen, that beat, the beat, man. Like probably the first month I listened to it, I couldn't even tell you none of Jeezy's lyrics because I was just hooked on the beat. The beat got me, man. The beat was, man, it was some special.
So then we on the track 11, Trap Star, Mr. Collie Park. I didn't even know he was on here until I did my production credit. Look, just another club banger, man. Like this is one of those songs that just played so much you thought it was a single or it should have been a single because it's just one of those. It just continues to like you're sensing a theme here, man. These songs just go in. Not only for clubs, if you riding on the bird, or it affected everybody down there in Florida too. So this isn't like a regional album. This had a big impact, and it's just another one of those songs.
The only thing I say to this song is this is a middle of the pack song for me only because out of the others that were in that category, I feel like they have more weight than TRAPSTR. Like I wasn't a fan of the like that's probably the least favorite hook I have on this album. Just on the simplicity of it, it wasn't you know, it didn't grab me enough. But you know, to say it's a bad song is wrong. You know, say it's like it's not a bad song. It just out of 8 songs that I like a lot, it's 8. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Something like that. So
fair enough.
And to echo what Kev was saying, and it's crazy because I wrote this down as a note. The hook was light. Like he said, it had more. Everything had more weight, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely. I heard I'm like, that was some lazy shit. Like, damn, you've been hitting us with this heat this whole time, and you give us that. Like, we spelling now. Like, okay. Right. So it was cool. It was cool.
Okay.
One of them ones where they called it an early night in the studio. I'm like, they'll love it.
Ain't nothing wrong with a filler song every once in a while.
Right.
So then we on the track 12, Bang with T.I. and Scrappy. Killa, what's good?
So we talking about T.I. We talking about Lil Scrappy. Don't just say this is Lil Scrappy time.
My bad.
This Lil Scrappy. So these was like, I mean, I was a huge fan of Southern music from having most of my military friends were Southern people. So I got introduced to a lot of music from the South through military friends, and the whole Lil Scrappy T.I., just that whole time and space to hear this song with Jeezy and just the peace up, A-Town down, like man, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, like peace up, A-Town, like didn't matter, loved it, participated in it like I was from the A. Like it gave you that feeling like this is an Atlanta theme song, but it really just it bang, motherfucker, bang. Like it just bang.
Facts. And I mean that T.I. cosign, like we was talking about before, man. T.I. is the guy at this time, man. You know, with trap music. What was the second one? Or third album? Urban
Legend.
Urban Legend,
yeah. So T.I. is on fire right now, man. Mike, what's good?
I loved it because Jazzy Faye. I'm a Jazzy Faye guy. Like Jazzy Faye produced it, you know, and like Kev said, it was so ATL. It was so ATL. And me and Big Kev, my brother, you know, we did some destruction and foolishness in the A. You know, my older sister had been living there for about 15 years at that point, so we spent a lot of time in the A. So it felt A-ish. You know, it felt like the A through and through. And so that's why I loved it. You know, it went from just, you know, trap music to like an Atlanta theme song almost. And that's why I loved it, man. I loved it. And again, I'm not the hugest, I'm not a T.I. guy. Scrappy, I really don't think about that much. So when I heard, I was like, yeah, he got him one here. He got him one. So again, I'm hooked. I'm still in that.
Okay, so we on the track 13. Don't Get Caught, Justice League beat. Pretty self-explanatory. Pretty self-explanatory song. It's a story rap. Hey, don't get caught. I mean, like I said with Jeezy, man, there ain't no mystery to this. This is not no David Copperfield shit. Look over here, and I'm gonna tell you this over here. Voila. It is, look right here. This is what's going on. But I'm gonna say it in a way that you gonna love it.
Trunk full of Yola. Here's the situation.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's literally like, that's the whole cop scene. That just put you like, that was like the Pandora commercial before the Pandora commercial. Like that's like the little. That's how I look at those little scenes and songs. You would get like, if you could sit back in your room, and me being a weird teenager, I had the little star kit that I could light up all day and be mooned up all night. So I'd be laid in the bed listening to music and just rocking out and like daydreaming about the scenes and like those. That's how your imagination grew for me. Was being able to like sit back and listen to an album, and back then it was a tape. You press play, you wasn't getting up to fast forward every time. You hit play and kicked on back, and like I'll be able just to enjoy the ride of the album. So that one was just, you knew right away, this is, Trunk Full of Yola and the cop scene. This is gonna be one of them songs. So.
Yeah, and the production, Justice League, again, I love Justice League. It was the instrumentation, and I'm like, you got this gritty down south cat over this beautiful beat, and I'm like, it go together so well. And like you said, it was okay. Here it is. I'm giving it to you. I ain't hitting you with the switcheroo, no bait and switch type scheme, no smoke and mirrors. I ain't hitting you with the option and none of that. I'm handing it off to the running back, and he running up the middle. Period.
And per the Apple Music credits, this is one of the only tracks on the album where the written by just say Jay Jenkins. There ain't no other names involved. It's Jay Jenkins. So this is probably one of them ones that Jeezy had to have on the album. This is mine. Yeah. This is what I wrote on my time. So that's one I noticed that just going through some of the credits. Like, this is one of the few songs that just got his name by it. Ain't no other names beside it, just Jay Jenkins.
That's what's up. So we on the track 14, probably his most popular song, Soul Survivor with Akon. This is a mainstream home run. I can't remember how many times you come home from work or whatever, and it's on 106 in Park. This song rang out for so long, and like to this day, we get requests to play this song. People love this song. This introduced him to Middle America, the white kids that don't really care about rap music, but like, yo, this song right here, bang. So this is a major accomplishment for him, and it was like his biggest single of all time, man. Where was you at with it, Mike? No, go ahead.
Go ahead, kid.
No, I just had a question for y'all because I struggle with this and with these type of songs. So as a DJ, I know this is a worldwide love song. Like, this is a song that people love through and through. But for me, I almost only want to play this songs at white weddings versus black weddings, or I only want to play this. Like, I would never want to play this in the hood. I would want to play this if I'm DJing at like the Green. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the ones that I'm gonna give the black people that's there something to be happy about, but it ain't gonna do too much to the white crowd. So I struggle with just some of these power songs like that. Like, what is your feeling on if you was out in the hood and heard this come on, this particular song, Soul Survivor? Like, is that acceptable to hear in the hood, or that's something you want to hear when you in the mixed crowd and ambiance? Like, because I struggle with it. I see it. I'm like, it's a cool track. I know they're gonna know it, but I'm like, man, this gotta be the right setting, or this to go left quick, and I'm gonna have to fight to get them back out there. So I just struggle with.
Go ahead, like kid.
For me, it's like when they made this album with Def Jam, they wanted to guarantee home runs. So that's why they got Manny Fresh, and that's why they got Akon. Because, all right, we get them two. These are going to make the album for everybody, make it global. These are definitely going to be single songs. So, yeah, I would fuck with it. But I think the masses, the core base of Jeezy heard it so much when they got home and watched 106 in Park, when they got in their car and listened to the radio. It was beat over their head, but we're not giving them the bang or bottom of the map. Those are the songs that they really love. These are the songs that's on the album as well. But then they just caught on everywhere else. So they'll fuck with it because it's Jeezy. And it's still a good song.
And let me speak as the person who's not a DJ. But in my spare time at home, I think I am. The reason, so Kev, if I'm out, me personally, I think at the hood spots, it doesn't connect, or people wouldn't want to hear it because it's like, it don't have soul to them. Like it doesn't have that feeling that you get from hearing that gritty shit. That anytime you put like an MTV type vibe on something, anytime it's supposed to be for the masses, and all that shit, and it doesn't touch home with us, we're not really fucking with it. Yeah. We fuck with it because it's Jeezy, maybe. That's why we tolerate it. But we wouldn't want to hear it in those certain settings when we out clubbing. We like, oh, those settings.
A lot of the songs got 4 or 5 subject matters: ass, titties, guns, violence. You know what I'm saying? Like that one don't grab you like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have that soul. It just don't. It's like, oh, okay, cool, that's Jeezy. So
because I struggle so much with DJing, with seeing these mega hits that I know. Like I do that with 50 all the time. 50 got some hits where I'll be like, man, this could go, but is it gonna go? Like is it gonna make four people happy or 80? And like that's where I gotta be more balanced in my structure, because like I take it to the caddy shop. I played last night at that wedding I did, and it was 50 people at the wedding, all family, but that one made them happy. You know what I'm saying? That one got them out their chairs a little bit. And it was just some of these power songs that aren't necessarily hood tracks that I know still are fire songs. You put it great. Like I think the radio and the MTVs, the world, like you got pounded with that song so much to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need to hear it. You ain't gonna want to hear it in certain settings.
Yeah, at all. But overall, I fucks with it. Y'all still fuck with the song? Yeah. Just heard it enough. Yeah. I feel you. Now we're on to track 15. My favorite song on the album, Trap or Die with Bun B, off the mixtape Trap or Die, which I heard way later after this album. Best song on the album, best hook on the album. I love this song. What's up, Kev?
Man, this is probably number 2 for me, only because 16 is better than 15 for me. So that's my favorite song on the album. But this was like, I just vividly remember sometimes where I might have had a quick ride to the store. Let me get 14, 15, 16 real quick. Let me get that little chunk, and I'll be good to go for the next couple of hours. That whatever I'm about to go do. Like I remember having a certain part of this CD where I just had to make sure that was in the rotation of listens. So this one with Bun B, man. I mean, the last time I checked, I was the man on these streets. Like that when you start rapping that song, it make you feel like you wrote the song. Like that's how it does me. It made me feel like I wrote it, because it's so powerful in just the shit talking. Like it's so powerful that I play this song monthly to this day, probably. I mean, like certain settings and certain vibes, when I'm going through the music and DJ and I see this one gets in put up here, like, oh, we're gonna get back to that. If it ain't time for that yet, 115, I'm getting there at 115. So that's just one of the songs when I see it, I gotta play it. If I'm in that setting, gotta play it.
Without a doubt. Like, to your point, kid, man, it's so powerful. Like, I'm gonna tell you, that song will have me feeling like I could sell dope. Like, it really has me feeling like, man, I'm about to go and try to like get a brick, and I'm going to a 9 to 5. But I'm like, man, that song, oh my God. And I'm a Bun B guy. I love Bunny B. I fucks with Bun B, and this song was like, oh shit. like it just do something to you.
Yeah.
This was my number one. No, I take that back. This was my number two favorite. This was my number two.
One thing I left out too that I learned in this rewind of this classic, and I thank you for this. He did a lot of shouting out to like the Legion of Doom, the Hitman, the Gangster. He did some DJ shout outs to where in 05, I wasn't no DJ. I wasn't even thinking of a DJ, but like to hear that now and be listening and be like, yo, he shouted out some DJ crews that was really, you know, active and a part of his journey. And it's just like, that was kind of a dope little, he had the Gangsta Grill, Legion of Doom, and Hitman kind of all in that first verse. So I learned that on the rewind. Like, yo, that was kind of dope to see. So.
I mean, we talk about lyricism. He got a bar on here. I'm a hater like you. Fuck my wrist in. Damn. This whole song is quotable. You know, something like, you know, I play a lot.
Try, dog, but it ain't easy. That's my favorite.
You know, I play a ton of Wu-Tang, Around the Wife, Redman, like stuff that she don't care nothing about, but she tolerated. But when I throw on this Trap or Die, we in that car, it's a concert in that motherfucker.
Oh,
we go on the car. And you know, I ain't even gonna front. She played a Jeezy role. She played Jeezy on the song. But I'm Bun B on that motherfucker. I closed that motherfucker out. Do believe that.
So last night leaving the wedding, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get one more run through. Because I had to go from Beaver Creek to my storage unit to the crib. I'm like, perfect. I can get one more run through of this. So I told the wife, she's like, what you got? I was like, I gotta listen to this Thug Motivation. So I turn it on. I'm probably 4 seconds in. You know, we didn't listen to 4 hours of me DJing, so that's usually my decompressed time where I don't even listen to music. I kind of just be like chilled out. So I had the volume about 12 in the car. That shit came on. That shit went to like 30 so quick, and we rolled down the highway banging this shit the whole evening. From the storage unit to the crib, we started Taco Bell. We got some more. I mean, we made sure we finished all 19 tracks. Like we rolled to this album on the way home. So that was funny. You said it's a concert because we literally had the volume up. I tried to turn it down and say something to her in small talk, and she's like, "Yeah, that's cool." Run right back up. Like, so yeah, we had a party last night with that.
For sure. So we on the track 16. Killa, your favorite joint. Lloyd on here. Slick Puller on here. He makes an appearance, man. He was heavy on mixtapes, but he gets his first appearance on the album. Tear It Up. Now, this song went in the club as well. Killa, what was you at with this? Besides, hold on, before you go, I got to shout out to Two-Way Chirps. Two-Way Chirps.
Oh, yeah. So, my wife is sitting right here, and I have no shame in saying this because she knows it. So, I spent probably a whole summer getting so faded, and I would walk in the club and just work tables until I got a conversation out of somebody. So if I went to this table and I'd be so faded and man, I'm small talk, yeah, what's up? You know, what y'all into? And then I got the I'm like, oh, next table. That's how I would just be out. So I was just moving. And when this song would come on,
nigga was speed dating before speed dating.
You know what I'm saying? I was out here playing the field like, man, if I go 0 for 10, that's just a bad night. But I should be able to go 1 for 10 easy. So I would be out there just literally, when this song would come on, I had to dance with somebody. And my dance would involve like thinking I was somewhat genuine, but could never really do it. So I'll be out there winding my back and just going like, and I would always fall. So I had a whole summer where every polo shirt that I had, every shirt, the back of the shirt was just gritty with club muck from just falling every week, and to where I had to just constantly buy shirts.
Black and mild stains on the back.
I had to constantly buy shirts, but they would be hanging in the closet looking dope from the front. I'm like, well, I could wear that, and I would look at the back like, nope, throw that away. Like, man, that song I used to always have to dance with a chick on that song, and it would always end with me on the floor. And then if you fall on the floor in 05, and you know the girl will halfway jump on you, the crowd becomes an instant circle. You become the star of the night for 30 seconds, and that shit used to happen to me week by week, and then I done worked the room all night. So now I done made one girl laugh, you know, saying somebody think it's funny. Like that was just my weekend constantly. It was bad. Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton. I just rotated. Those would be the 3 weekends out the month that we just rotated every month. We'd be in one of the cities kicking it. So,
Mike, what's up?
Man, that was a strong song for me. Like it was, that was the like I ain't have too many dance moves, right? I give you a mean 2-step though, right? Like I 2-step you to death. Dude, I remember being in a club. Again, this was in Tampa. Club was called Club Moet. The street that it was on was either Fowler or Fletcher. Going there, that come on, I'm looking for anybody. I mean, anybody to dance with. I mean, you can look like terrible.
right.
Man, that come on, it do something to you. Shit, I done probably 2-step by myself to that. That song just, I gotta agree with you, kid.
Do you remember, like, because being that you said that, I feel like you would know this. You would be looking for that whoever, and you'd be going around the room, you'd have made that whole lap and ain't found nobody, and you like, damn.
Dude.
Just ride it out dolo, I guess. just made the whole lap and got turned down 5 times. And
yes.
I'm still gonna dance to it. This is my shit.
Yeah, this my shit. One man party.
Oh man, Lloyd on the hook. That's a banger for sure. Then we on the track 17, another self-explanatory song. How you feel? Could have been another single. Like this is the theme of the album, man. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of songs that you gonna love. Every hook is gonna bang. Every beat is gonna bang. You're gonna think every song could have been a single. Sitting 24 inches off the ground.
Yes,
man.
Yes. And you know what? We've made it this far, and we have not given Jeezy his credit for the ad lib like we should.
Hey. Good call.
Dude,
good call. Great call.
We 17 in and didn't. The king of the ad lib.
Man, listen, the ad lib and even the one-liners, because he has so many on multiple projects, but this one alone, I mean, we talking 15 years of me saying at least 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? I am yearly, you know, just a part of my vocab. You know, he has just so many one-liners that if you hear it, if you hear somebody say something close to it, it puts you right back on Thug Motivation 101 thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So
without a doubt.
Yeah, he took the ad lib title from Puff.
Without a doubt.
From Puff. Puff had it with the come on, that's right. That one. All that shit. And Jeezy took it from him. And ain't nobody can tell me nothing different, man. Where was you at with it, Killa?
Man, I still just talking about the ad-libs real quick. I still remember a time when I would be on my 3 of 10 shooting, but those 3 came back to back. So that second or third one, I'd be like, yeah, you know. I mean, just I constantly had a Jeezy ad-lib, constantly just praising this project. Now I will say that's how you feel track probably is in the same boat for me of Last of a Dying Breed, just because I will be worn out from Soul Survivor, Trap or Die, Tear It Up, and I'll be like not so focused on, you know, that one, or just it don't sit within my Mount Rushmore of Thug Motivation tracks. But it's still, I mean, I could play this whole thing through and through, and just because that's not on my Mount Rushmore, I mean, I'm skipping it. Like, I'm still gonna let it ride. It's still quality enough for that. It's one of them ones where I'm gonna let somebody else enjoy it, because I done wore them out on 8 others in the car. So this they turn to have a moment. So one of those tracks for me, just not one of my faves.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about ad-libs. This goes on to a later album that I'm definitely going to do. But shit, Kanye sampled his ad-libs for Can't Tell Me Nothing. That's tell you how strong this man's ad-lib. No, it didn't get him on it. Like, yeah, I want to put you on a song. Just do the ad-lib. No, I'm going to just sample it and just say you featured on it. Don't worry about it. Like, that's how strong he is with the ad-lib game. So we on the track 18. Talk to him. Gives you that other side of the game. Losing a couple homies to the game. Another one of them, man. You don't get that. You don't get that on this album. This is the only song on. What did you get 2? You get Talk to Him, and Don't Get Caught. So you get those two are the only songs on here that give you the other side of the game. Mike, where was you at with it?
Dude, my favorite song on the album.
Really?
Didn't expect that.
I did not either.
Number one to me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Kev, from our talking about Reasonable Doubt, we had a portion on that pod where you and I were talking about Blueprint versus Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
And I talked about how Kanye was the star, the beats, I should say, the production of Blueprint was the star of the album, not Hov. You know, I love Hov, so no disrespect. And I said because of the sampling on the beats, on the production. The sample on this song of Frankie Beverly and Maze. It's Frankie Beverly and Maze. I Need You is the name of the song. I Need You, that they sample.
Okay.
Dude, when I heard this again, I didn't know what, for about the first month, I couldn't even tell you what Jeezy, I was listening to it for the beat. And dude, shit is fire. And again, you know how we talked about in that other pod with Reasonable Doubt, the other side of the game. When a lot of cats was just glorifying money, broads, you know, cars, houses, that shit, the violence, all that. And this guy picks this track with this beat to give you that other side. And I was sold. I was like, oh, yeah, this is it. This is it. Frank Nitty did the beat, and I was like, dude, I don't know who this Frank Nitty dude is, but man, he's a monster. It had soul to it. You know, it had soul, it had feeling. It was more than just surface level shit. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That was my A. Number one.
Got it. Okay. What's up, Killa?
Now, I was just surprised to hear the little like singing in the beginning. I was like excited for it because it felt like he was gonna go somewhere else and tell another story. And like this is one of them ones where to hear Mike say that, that really shows the loyalty to this album because that's 18 of 19. So you had to get through quite a bit of music to then say this is one of your favorites, if not the favorite. So like that just shows you that, you know, his 18th song is solid enough to be someone's favorite, and you don't hear that on albums hardly ever. I mean, the favorites being the top 6, you know what I'm saying, or the world's favorite, or you might have, you know, some people that like to dig deep in albums. I get that, but for Talk to Him, man, that's just one of them ones where I was pleasantly surprised. You know what I'm saying? Just they didn't start off with the shit talking. It didn't have to necessarily grab you, but if you get through that track and don't like it, you like, that's one of the ones where I'm gonna keep that in the Rolodex for, you know, the car rides and the long journeys, because that's the ones that I like to listen to and get your mind right. So
yeah, for sure. And to be perfectly honest, that's in a perfect world, that's how you close the album. But you don't close the album with that. Right. You closed it with track 19, Air Forces, another song from the Trapper Die mixtape. Love this fucking song. Love this song. And you know what? We talk about lyrics and everything like that. The thing that he has that I basically learned from doing other podcasts with my brother and my guy Big Hunt is charisma. Having charisma on the mic goes a long way, and that's exactly what Jeezy has. He says, they say we country nigga hee-haw, money coming back and forth like a seesaw. Like a nigga, like a regular nigga say hee-haw, you like, he jack, but he say, you fucking with it. And I mean, it's just a great song, man. It's a great song. It's a great beat, and it's one of those songs that came from the mixtape that was able to put on the album. So you look at Trap or Die and Air Forces, which were given away for free, you know what I'm saying, on the mixtape. And I think these two songs push it over the top towards greatness, man. Where was y'all at with Air Forces?
I was gonna say we didn't even give him credit. I think Jeezy was one of the first artists to give you a little free sample pack out the trunk, you know, of just having free music to give out in a time where, you know, the beginning of the changes in music was starting to be talked about and maybe even happening. But for me, this one, all I think about is niggas with gold teeth, niggas out there with their old schools, 5XTs. Like this is just that all that. That's like the old school Chevys. Like, so my military time was down south, and then here in Dayton, like I had a neighbor in my childhood where in his pastime, all he did was fix up SS's, Monte Carlos, Chevy. I mean, all different types of cars. And he had so many just old schools where like your childhood daydreams, you'll see it come in gray, black, and blue and leave out crystal clear purple with some rims on it. And you like, damn, I need one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just this song it takes you back to that whole space. It takes me back to them thoughts, and it's a hell of a way to end the album because it ends with just as much weight as Stuff Motivation 101. You know what I'm saying? It just it closes out the night with Talk to Him could have been the last one, but thanks for the bonus track. Like,
yeah. The piano keys on there.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm with you, kid. It gave you a vision, and again, like I said, I'm in Tampa, and it gives you a vision of what Southern life was like. And people seem to forget that Florida's in the South sometimes. But they have that country vibe too. And I remember, and Kev knows exactly where this location is. The McDonald's. Do you remember, Kev? Do you remember the McDonald's?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was that an SOS signal?
It's all good. That's in the past.
Kev was all right. Other people wasn't. But anyway.
Right. He's listening.
And anybody from Tampa will know the exact McDonald's I'm talking about. It's on the corner of Nebraska and Fletcher Avenue. Nebraska went this way. It's probably one of the most famous host rows in the country. It's nothing but prostitutes up and down. Famous track. Fletcher goes this way. It sits right on the corner. It was the first 24-hour McDonald's that I'd ever seen in my life, right? Anyway, every time, like, I would go there, it would be like a car show pretty much. So we would go there after the club a lot of times because it would be one of the few things open. Dude. And I remember being there one time, and this dude, he had a box Chevy. They love box Chevys down there. And so they called them dunk rides with the big wheels on it, like huge wheels where the Chevy would be sitting up. And he came through playing that. And that shit was wanging. Like, boom, boom, boom. I'm looking like, yeah. Like, that song gave you, like, it described everything Southern at that point. Yeah. Southern, cool, and hood. You know, that Southern hood vibe. And it was the perfect song to end it on. Perfect song to end that album on.
Man, I went old school.
I wish I would have been in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, in my military time, there was literally this is a much more smaller scenario than Tampa, but there was a Taco Bell on the late night that sat on the busy corner of two busy streets that everybody would go to afterwards. And the line would be Kings Island, like all the way in the back of the store. Everybody sitting in the booth trying to hold the booth down. The drive-through line is out of control, and then somebody started fighting, get maced, whatever. They had to stop letting people into the Taco Bell on the late night because it became the Club 1B. It became everybody's go-to after the club. But I remember I remember that type of vibe, and I remember like there was a park on like a Sunday where it'd be a random park on from 4 to 8, 4 to 9, where people would just pull up, post up, and watch the whole stroll. Like I say, it would just be nothing but just you walking around, mingling, you pulled up, banging your music, and you did nothing else but sit around. So like those was like those Southern nights that on my 01 through 05 time frame I enjoyed, but like some of this music I know had the whole park going crazy that I just missed, but I know that Southern vibe you talking about. That's some of the best times of my life happened on those weekends. So,
man, this hook, man, I went from old school Chevys to drop top Porsches.
It's talking about
Talking about the come up, man. It's talking about like, all right, man, we used to ride the Chevys. Now we rocking foreigns. You couldn't walk a mile in my Air Force. You couldn't live what I live. You couldn't go what I went through to make it here. I can get $100,000 in these shine jeans.
I saw Jeezy say that, while this song was playing, he like watching the dude drinking Heineken. We over here drinking Cristal. Like, it's that thought. Like, you go ahead and be regular. We over here bossed up over here. So like, that's just one of them. This whole album we've been repetitive. At least I have in my explaining of these songs, because it's 12 of them that give me that feeling. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of music on this album that just give me that feeling that very few songs can give you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a lot of songs that give you these kind of feelings, 15 years later.
Facts. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious this album stands the test of time. But the question is this Jeezy's best work, or is Recession his best work? Because I am a huge Recession fan.
Me too.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it after listening to this for a week. But now it's Thug Motivation 101. But prior to this, I was like, oh, Recession's better than this. This is great, but Recession's better because of the message behind every song on Recession. But damn, this album here, boy.
Only answer I can give to that is Thug Motivation 101 is the reason why I love the Recession. Like the reason why I think Recession, that's a conversation that needs to be had, is because this was so good that just could be like, oh, this is just as, if not better. So I feel like that some of the thanks for the Recession goes to Thug Motivation, because you wouldn't be such a fan so quickly in his career without this being, arguably one of the greatest rap albums. I mean, it's in the conversation. It's one of the greatest albums ever.
Yeah, and I'm a Recessions guy. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think back, there's a lot of music I play off that thing still. So it's
I listen to Recessions while getting ready for this, because one day I'm like, hold on, let me throw on Recessions real quick, because me personally, I felt like, man, I'm cheating on Recessions by listening to this. So I'm like, man, let me go back to Recession. Recessions was and I don't know if Recessions hit so hard for me because I was going through a lot of shit at the time, and it was just like, my therapeutic ride and soul music, that just touched. But this album, man, listen, this is let me ask y'all this. Is this the greatest album to come out of the South? Now, hold on, before you answer. Hold on now.
My answer.
By individual artists, not by group or not, but by individual artists from the South. Is this the best one? Because, I mean, of course, you got Soul Food by Goody Mob. You choose from the Outkast albums. You got a lot of, you got 8Ball, MJG. You got all that.
Right.
But as a solo artist, is this the greatest from down south? And kid, don't be biased and say, nah, T.I.
You knew that was coming.
I can sense it. I can sense it.
Yeah, you are.
All right, where's the line? Where are we drawing the line to equal the South? Where does the South begin? Because J. Cole,
Kentucky and down.
Oh shit. Okay. For me, it will have to be one of three. It will have to be this on there. It will have to be Scarface, Untouchable.
Ooh.
And J. Cole 2014 Forest Hill Drive from a solo perspective.
Okay.
It off the top of my head, those are the top three solo from a Southern artist.
Okay.
Only one I would flip off is to take that J. Cole off and put 400 Degrees, because that's my thing.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That was accurate with the Scarface, but that 400 Degrees is one of them ones that I fight for when I shouldn't.
Damn.
I love that 400 degrees.
Yeah, that one means something to me. So
see, and I only have two. It's either Thug Motivation 101 or Scarface the Diary. Those are my two. Like,
okay.
I'm not a big 400 degrees guy. I actually hated it when I first heard it. I was like,
you and me.
I was like, I hate this shit.
Where's that right state? Back that ass came on at the multi-purpose room. Like, what is this bullshit?
Right. What is this shit, man?
But it grew on me.
Yeah, like a tumor, nigga. I mean, I'm still not a big fan of it. You know, it's cool, I guess. It's cool. But Thug Motivation 101.
Just because I would give it to that. I would give it to Thug Motivation over 400 degrees just because of it's currently on my mind and you asked me today. But
yeah, I got you.
If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago prior to the homework assignment, I might have been like, I don't know. But after going over this again and really digging into it, man, this is one that really, 400 degrees got some rollover songs for sure, but this one has very few of those. So.
Yeah, I got you.
So you a diary guy, huh, Mike? You a diary
man. Hey.
I think it's a line with Scarface people as diary guys and untouchable guys.
Yeah.
And then shoot, what's the other one? There's a line. Nas. It's Illmatic guys and it's written guys. It's like a lot of different lines.
Yeah.
Like people like, nah, this album better. It's like fans fighting each other over the same project, man. But yeah, that's a good ass question. I don't know what I'm doing this week. Hey fellas, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all jumping on the pod, man. Shout out Heart's candle business one more time, Mike.
Candles from the Heart. That's HART. Candlesfromtheheart.com. It's for my 10-year-old son, his candle business. He's trying to make money over the next 7 years to pay for his and his sister's tuition to Howard University, where he plans and wants to go. So pick up a candle if you can.
Killa, shout out to DJing.
Before I do, I gotta thank you for this rewind pod. I like how you're using your quarantine time to take us back down memory lane, and I'm really enjoying the content you're putting out with You Can't Make This Up podcast and rewind. You double dipping out here, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it because this rewind pod is on to something. It sparks conversation, it sparks memories, and that's all we got right now in this Rona is memories. So,
all right.
So, but my social media is DJ Killa Kev. It's at DJ_Killa_Kev. Website is djkmusicent.com. You can listen to some mixtapes. You can put in an inquiry. You can look at pics. Whatever you want to do. That's my website for the DJ business, and at DJ_Killa_Kev for the social. So.
All right, man. Appreciate it, fellas. Thanks again.
No doubt, bro.